So you had to have a little guess. And then you have this wonderful stone which runs your clock. It's a 12-hour clock, so you have to wind it up twice a day. At that time, no cuckoo as yet, so if you wanted to buy a clock like that and you want to have a cuckoo, you have to do it yourself. Let's say, cuckoo. Okay. Now, this started because the farmers, they were snowed in from November to May. No work, a lot of wood, a lot of good ideas, mechanical minded, so they started making this clock. In spring, summer and autumn they came down, sold the clocks, and at that time in 1640 they went already as far as England, Scotland and Moscow. How they did choose Moscow, I don't know, but the poor fellow, he probably said goodbye to his family in June and he came back in October, but very successfully. Then we have the second generation, which is 1720, is a painted face clock, all wood, has two hands now, has the weights for the clockwork, and it has a cuckoo. Now, one did choose a cuckoo because A, it's a very common bird in this area, we still have it, and I will show it to you a little later. The sounds are slightly different. You have a grown-up cuckoo, and you have a young cuckoo, and you have a baby cuckoo. Okay? So, the third generation is what we call the train station clock. The reason is because the train stations looked like that. So the clocks were placed in the train station, and that was the start of the cuckoo clocks becoming known basically worldwide. Okay, so you had, naturally, he was telling everybody what time it is, and then you know whether you missed your train or whether you have to wait a little longer. Now, the farmers, naturally, they thought, you know, what else can we do than just always a cuckoo? Okay, and there was always a funny guy who made this wonderful little clock. This is a mother-in-law clock. And then we have here what we call the dumpling eater. He has one advantage. You can eat all day, okay? He doesn't put any weight on, he doesn't lose any either. So he's a very happy fellow. So let's go over to the wood. The cuckoo clocks are made from lime or basswood, depending what country you come from. And initially one used oak. Oak is very hard to work with, and one uses this now because it's much softer. It has to lie for 4 years before you can use it. It has to be absolutely dry for the cuckoo clocks. So what one does basically is one cuts a piece of wood from there with a wood saw like this.